Ghanaians had been returned to the position of laborers in their own land, as was the case during the colonial era. Indeed, to buttress his point, Osagyefo repeats again in his book that for the ordinary men and women of Ghana, the sellout of Ghana has meant a return to all the exploitation and uncertainties of the colonial. Important fact to note here is that all of these 17 IMF bailouts happened after the 1966 coup with Nkrumah out of power. Indeed, Nkrumah makes clear in his book Dark Days in Ghana that he rejected a loan from the IMF due to the political conditions attached to the loan. It is very well known how IMF loans always come along with conditionalities that are not favorable to the countries that accept them. And Ghana, along with most African countries, are the proof that IMF policies and conditionalities do not bring development. Rather, they have undermined the economic sovereignty of African countries and are a key factor in the perpetual underdevelopment across the continent of Africa. Not only has Ghana had to go begging the IMF 17 times for financial bailout ever since the overthrow of Kwame Nkrumah, Ghana has also been declared a heavily indebted poor country in the early 2000s. And in 2022, the Ghanaian cedi became the worst performing currency in the whole world, with inflation also rising to its highest in 21 years at an incredible 50.3%. All of these facts prove that not only was Ghana in a precarious situation in the years after the removal of Nkrumah from power, but also that Ghana is very much an economic mess today, with Ghanaians in exactly the position Nkrumah declared in 1968, exploited, uncertain and desperate in their own land. But do not take my word for it. Let us look at the facts once again. The minimum wage in Ghana today is 14 cedis and 8. That is a meager $1.20, the amount the Ghanaian government deems it fit as the lowest Ghanaian workers should be paid for working 8 hours on any given day. Here is John Kwache, senior economist at Ghana's Institute of Economic Affairs, pointing out how woefully inadequate Ghana's minimum wage is. Ghana's daily minimum wage of 14 cedis and 88 pesos can only buy a loaf of bread. A little paid what can only be described as poverty wages. Ghanaian workers are also exploited and abused in all kinds of ways by employers. Ghana today is a heaven for foreign investors and a hell for its own people, who find themselves in a position of unprotected and exploited cheap labor. So at this point is the Nkrumah prophecy of Ghanaians being forced into being hewers of wood and drawers of water after his overthrow beginning to make sense. The brutal exploitation and uncertainty that most Ghanaians face today is so bad that you find Ghanaian youth for the slave ships to be brought back just so that they can escape the hardship in Ghana. That is really how bad things have gotten in Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana. The prophecy of Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah about Ghanaians being hewers of wood and drawers of water after 55 years continues to be validated each passing day. And so the question now is, how exactly did Kwame Nkrumah know for sure that as a consequence of his overthrow? So right from